Not again in Orange County. Time for another market update like we do every 2 weeks in Southern California, and you won't believe the housing market 2021 update for the first 2 weeks of May 2021. Hey there, Christian Walsh, Wire Associates. We're real estate brokers based in Southern California, helping tenants and landlords and buyers and sellers during these crazy days. And we're here with another one of our every 2 week updates. We cannot wait to share. We can't believe this is happening again in Orange County, and it's happening for single family and multifamily as well. LA's off to a crazy start this month, and Riverside as well. And we're gonna run through the notices of default for April's going all the way back to 2015 so you can see what's happening with the foreclosure process. And remember, we can't give legal or tax advice, but for the most honest real estate advice, subscribe to this channel. So if you're ready to dive into the housing data, I need you to hit that like button and let's get started. Let's dive into the numbers. It's another big month for Southern California real estate, and we can't wait to share what's happened in the beginning of May. So let me get out of the way so we can go through the numbers. So we're going to start with Orange County single family like we do, and we are back right where I didn't want us to be. It's absolutely exhausting for buyers, but we're back at the point where escrows have surpassed new listings. We do not have enough inventory in Orange County, and we can see it out there. Lots of offers being written on properties. Not as crazy as in the beginning of this, when this craziness started. So beginning of the year, it was much more wild out there. 25 offers. Now maybe only 10 or 15 offers, and you can see why in the data. We don't have enough listings. And you can see that year over year, the numbers look even crazier because year over year in the beginning of May, we did not have many properties selling, didn't have many properties going under contract, and didn't have many listings, but we're even below that on listings now. So you can see the trend, how COVID affected it. Moving into LA, and Los Angeles has consistently been like this. We see the three lines moving across, and those are sold, properties under contract, and those new listings. So new listings have dropped, don't get me wrong. They're still low, they're still at a record low for LA, and the listings and properties going into escrow, those numbers are getting closer. So it is getting busier in LA from the looks of it for multiple offers. So if you're considering selling, it's still very much a seller's market there. And Riverside has tamed down a bit. We don't have that flip like we have in Orange County and like we had in February and March, but still absolutely busy time. So you can see in Riverside that the listings are at a low, not a record low, that was last year over year, but still way too low for the number of properties that are selling. So we do still have a seller's market, still pretty crazy out in Riverside for single family. So what's going on with multifamily? Well, Orange County, it's getting crazy. We've got all our numbers coming together again, and that's showing that it's an extreme seller's market. We do not have enough new listings coming. Year over year, we have an increase, but it's still from a typical 2 weeks of May, it's still low. So you can see it's very much a seller's market for multifamily in Orange County. LA, we still got our three bands kind of moving along together, and you can see that it is not as much of a seller's market in LA for multifamily. And as we've said before, the LA eviction moratorium is a big part of this. While statewide we have SB 91, in LA it's even more stringent, so it's tougher for landlords who are not getting rent due to non-payment of rent due to COVID-19, and I have a feeling that that's affecting the sales numbers. And in Riverside, we got swoops and properties moving all over. And look, we have the twist. So Riverside multifamily, we have the twist, which is great for sellers and lousy for buyers. Not enough inventory, and you can see that it actually, the number of properties that went under contract does appear to be a record. Last time would be 30 in 2018. We have 31 in 2021. So it's definitely a seller's market, and it looks pretty crazy in the multifamily market in Riverside. which has up until now been pretty uneventful. And now looking at the notices of default for April, the numbers for April are in. So we're comparing April's to years past, all the way back to 2015. And you can see, as we have shown, that there was a major drop in the filing of notices of default, which is the first step in the process of foreclosure in the state of California. So we have a massive drop in those notices being filed in 2020. And by this time last year, we were well into a foreclosure moratorium. And even those that weren't under the foreclosure moratorium, things slowed down dramatically for those properties as well. So we still are under a foreclosure moratorium, at least for a little while longer. But you can see that those that aren't in the moratorium, so this would be private lenders, different types of lenders like that don't fall under the Fannie and Freddie guidelines, they're able to move forward, and they are. You can see that there's an increase in the month of April for notices of default, nowhere near years past and nowhere near the amount of volume that we had in the previous bust. But you can see that it's starting to increase. Still have a lot of ground to pick up. So the things we're watching closely now is things open back up very quickly in the state of California. So we're watching for the ending of the eviction moratorium. So SB 91 ends on June 30th. The big question is, in the state of California, will that be extended? The CDC eviction moratorium, which covers the rest of the nation, we've released content on that. That was challenged and is now back in place, but it is very much unlikely it will be extended beyond its deadline of June 30th. So while we don't have enough inventory, and that's definitely one of the things affecting our real estate market, if we lift the eviction moratoria and now renters are being kicked out and we have inventory coming that can be sold, that's one way to bring inventory, probably not the best way and not what we expected, but that will be one of the side effects. Once the eviction moratoria are lifted, a lot of landlords will be out of the rental business and will be selling, so we should see a bump in inventory that way. Again, not what we were hoping for, not one of the ways we wanted to see inventory come to the market. Ideally, we need more sellers, traditional sellers, to decide to sell their homes. So another big problem we're tracking is affordability. In the state of California, affordability is way down, and throughout the nation, there's plenty of marketplaces that are even worse than here in California. In Orange County, the median home price hit $800,000 at the end of April, which is just crazy, crazy numbers. And it doesn't look like it's going down once we get to the numbers at the end of May. So we're seeing affordability being crunched, and that's leading partly to fewer offers on properties, as just fewer buyers are willing and able to compete for homes. So we're worried about the specter of inflation, and we're seeing it in certain areas. We're seeing it in lumber, we're seeing it in labor costs, we're seeing it throughout the economy in different ways. And this could force the Fed to have to take action much sooner than was promised or expected and start to cause interest rates to go up. So we're definitely watching out to see what happens with the economy and inflation. This could actually be a buffer for these incredibly high housing prices. Which leads us to another thing we're tracking, which is how bubbly it is out there. Of course, with prices through the roof, median home price up, tons of offers, people putting in offers over appraisal, it feels very, very bubbly out there. The question is whether the bubble will pop, whether the bubble will just kind of slowly deflate at some point in time. If inflation goes up, this could lead to a slow deflation in the bubble, and much less likely we'll have a dramatic pop. So these are all crazy things that we have to watch, and every 2 weeks we'll continue to bring out content like this so you can see what's going on in Southern California. Why don't you tell us? We want to hear what you're seeing out there. Have you given up on trying to buy a home? Sellers, why aren't you selling right now? Leave a comment below and let us know what you're seeing out in the market right now. Please be sure to sign up for our free weekly email newsletter where we cover topics on the economy and the real estate market, what landlords and tenants need to watch out for, and what buyers and sellers need to watch out for. You can click the link below to subscribe, or you can text newsletter to 949-691-3566. Thanks for tuning in and giving us your opinion on what's going out there. This has been Christian Walsh with Wire Associates, and we appreciate you.